Welcome back to a new episode of Mastering Programming. In today's episode, I'm going to do something a little bit different. We're not going to be giving a tutorial or anything like that. I'm going to be showing you Claude and ChatGPT in Xcode themselves. So I have the new update. I have the new version of Xcode, which allows you to straight away integrate AI into the actual development. And I just want to show you how quick it will be to actually develop a full game without any experience of code or without any experience of development in Xcode using that new feature. So as you can see right now on the desktop, there's actually, Xcode is not even turned on right now. And all I'll do is I'll simply just search up for Xcode and we're going to start timing it from now. So it's 11:34 right now. We're going to create an entirely new project. We're going to click on next. We're going to give it a name, random game 2, because I think I already used one. I will be using SwiftUI and I'll click on next. And we can actually be as comfortable as we want. This will end up actually creating the project for you in just a few seconds. Now I'm going to expand Xcode so that it appears entirely and that we have the entire screen. And what you'll notice is just everything is so normal in this new update. You get the canvas loading and so on. We have our content view here, which is our main view. But then on the right side, just over here, you've got this tab and it says Coding Assistant. Now previously the AI in Xcode was very basic. It was actually a little bit boring. You can only do a comment and then it will try fill in that comment and things like that. But now if I go over here, I have my entire editor and I can provide Xcode with attachments. I can actually click on this button here, which gives context to the AI so it can look throughout the entire project. And you also have this option over here which allows it to basically how in depth do you want it to be. Now through here, if this was a project that I had before, you can actually select different conversations that you've had. You can clear it. Now, the best thing about this is that you're also not limited to one specific model. So you can go to Xcode, go to settings, and over here under intelligence, I'm currently signed in to ChatGPT, but you can also, and I actually do have an account with Claude as well, but you can also get an account with Claude and it will be very quick. You can also add a different model provider. So if I go over here, you can actually provide the API and the key and so on and your account to any other AI provider, which is really cool. Now I'm going to close this and I'm going to come over here and I actually want to create a really cool puzzle game, for example. So all I'll do over here is I'll go to the input field and I'll just type in create me a game using Sprite Kit that is based on levels and has a different, very unique puzzle in each level. The game should be visually very unique, offer a start menu, pause menu, and player score saved so they can continue their progress. So this will be the prompt that I'm going to put, a little bit detailed, but I'm going to click on enter and it will take a few seconds. Now I noticed that Claude is much quicker. It will straight away start pumping out answers to you. Some of them might not be that helpful, but it will straight away show you that it is working. ChatGPT, on the other hand, it seems like it does take some time in order to actually end up producing something, but sometimes the quality is better or quicker. Sorry, Claude's quality overall at the end ends up being quicker. Now remember, we started doing this 11:34, I think, so it's been 4 minutes, and included in those 4 minutes, I explained the difference between the two different models. I explained to you how to access it, and I even went through Xcode. Now, the cool thing is that in just this one go, it will spit out the entire game for you. And if you connect GitHub to this, you can even also refer to a specific change. So let's say I have 10 different requests. I can go to that specific request and see what code happened. Cool, so it takes a few seconds, but you can see, first of all, you can see the magic as it happens. So you can see the code being generated automatically. And obviously, because things are not complete and not all the files are there, you always have these minor errors starting to appear. But the thing that I love is that straight away on the left side here in our menu, you can see that it's trying to tell you that it understood your request. So if you have a look, it's saying you're asking me to implement a sprite kit based level driven puzzle game with unique puzzle per level, a start menu, a pause menu, and persistent progress score. That is exactly what I asked. It actually worded it better. And then it tells you what it will actually do. So it says, changes I'll make: replace the content view with a sprite view hosting your game, add scenes and helpers, unique puzzles, and so on. As it goes, you can also see the files that it's starting to work on. So you can see that the first thing it started working on is the content view, and content view is the main file of your app or of your project. So it's gonna start working with that. Now you can also see the errors actually start being removed, because as it's starting to work on different files, it will start adding different capabilities that some of your older files are referring to. And so automatically some of these errors will be removed, which is very interesting to watch happen. And the reason it's interesting is because even though it's working on this file, it's working on it knowing that at some stage it will reach that main menu level. And that's why you might have it over here and it's creating something, but it might be an error because that file doesn't exist yet. But it knows, the model knows that at some point it will be creating it. So we can see so far we've created the game progress file, the content view file, the game scene, the levels, and it's still generating. It's telling us that it's generating over here. Also on the bottom left here, it's telling you that it's picked up that there is an error. And I'm not going to click it, but I just want to show you that if I right click here, if I click on it, I can also ask AI to fix that specific issue in that line. I'm not going to do that because we're actually still working on this. So it's automatically going to be removed, maybe now actually. Now it's creating the levels. And if I actually go ahead and click on this, you'll see that it's actually creating all the files for you live. Like as it's generating, it will create different files, and I can actually click through them and see them. And this over here, I just want to click on it now because it's still working, but it can tell you the difference between what the file looked like and what it does look like now. And at any point, if you want to go back, you can just click over here, or you can go over here and you can continue following along on what it's actually doing. So right now it's working on content view. So if you come over here, this is what it's working on now. And it actually did manage to remove the error. Now, my favorite thing about Apple and their development is that as the code is being written, the compiler is automatically trying to compile your app and is trying to load it. And we can see that even though the code is still being generated, whatever has been complete, it's actually showing over here. In fact, sometimes, yep, you can interact with it. So it's telling you find the one spinning. Okay, yeah. Things are not done yet. Okay. Okay, so I actually got that first one. So I'll do a full review of the app that it's creating for us once it's done. But for now, you can actually see that the app is running and it's working. Alright, now the best thing that I love is that once it's finished, it's telling you what happened. So it's telling you this was our plan. This is what I implemented. And it tells you exactly what happened. It tells you the different games. So I think it created 3 levels. Yep, for now. And it told you exactly how it did it. And it's even telling you I can add sound effects or more levels next. It also gives you a summary on what it did. So here it's telling us that it created 30 changes in 5 files. Okay. Now in Xcode, we can test this over here, or we can actually just run it on a simulator. So let's pick maybe the iPhone 17 Pro and let's run it. Now this might take a few seconds, but that's not the AI, that's just actually running basically a whole 17 Pro on the Mac and then running the game on it to test it. But we can also see that it's over here right now. Now, what I like is that, see how, for example, this says, I'm assuming Neon Puzzle Orbit, but it's cutting off the screen. Well, what we can do is we can actually even come over here and we can say the neon puzzle orbit text is floating off the screen. And we can send that while we're still testing this, and it will actually pick up on the context of the project using this button, or because we have this checked, and it will figure out exactly what I'm referring to, and then it will actually go ahead and fix it. So I'm gonna let it think, and in the meantime, this is the app. Let's test this one. So I'm going to click reset progress, new game. So sending us to check down that's moving at a different tempo. I think it's that one. We got it. Next level. Drag the gate to sync with the satellite in orbit. What gate? Drag the gate to sync with this. Oh, okay. So I think it wants me to follow it. Okay, so I'm not too sure if AI is the, like, if ChatGPT was the one that came up with this level idea, but I'm trying to do it and I failed. But drag the gate to sync with the satellite's orbit. Okay. Well, I am. I think I'm doing it. How much better can it be? Okay, well, the game works, but you can see that there's some issues here, but let's have a look if this fixed it. So it said fix applied, the scene and the views. All right, now let's reset this. And basically the problem that we were having of neon puzzle orbit, it's still there. But what I wanted to show is that basically we have a functional, with some issues, but a functional app that we can use. And we can start a new game, we can reset our progress, we can click continue, and it takes us exactly to where we are. Let's just try to do this one more time. Yep, there we go. Next level. Finally, the third level. Draw lines to connect all stars once without retracing. So I'm assuming this one is simple. There we go. Perfect. Now, and it keeps on repeating. So a few errors. Straight away, the score is a little bit overlaying by a few things. The games do work, but the UI can be a little bit better. But I just want to tell you from now, if this was someone just creating those pages, it would have taken a really long time. And at the moment, it's 11:47. We started at 11:34, so less than 20 minutes, and it's already working. It's functioning well. There's some UI problems that we can fix, but if this was done by a human just straight away, it would have taken a really long time. Now, I'm not saying there isn't issues. There's definitely are, but at least now someone can just focus on fixing those issues rather than creating something from scratch. I just wanted to demonstrate how quickly it can be to actually create apps now and games and so on. And I'm looking forward to really use this in multiple videos in the future, and I'll be showing you what else I'll be doing with them. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next episode.